No time like the present. So, after months of preparation and far too much talking about it, the time's come to get this Wolds Way walked again. I don't think I could be any more prepared than I am. The sun's disappeared for a few hours hopefully, so I won't roast, but I'm looking forward to the journey. I will speak to you as we go and update you on what's happening. 79 miles and counting. So let's get this show on the road. So I've escaped from the bridge and I'm now on my way. It's not nice walking on those pebbles along the shoreline. I always have fears that I'm going to twist an ankle or something before I've even got a mile in. So, a little bit of a story from, I'll be telling a few over these 79 miles and 30 whatever hours. Back in February, I needed to get fit. So I've spoken about doing the Wolds Way again many times, but never got around to it. But in February I thought, all these people say that walking 10,000 steps a day loses your weight, gets you fit. So I set myself a goal of doing 13,000 steps a day. And part way along that journey I decided that walking the Wolds Way a decade after I walked in June 2013 would be a good idea. As of last Friday, I had walked over 2.5 million steps, which is for my legs equates to just short of 1,200 miles, which for a little ginger bloke is quite a lot. I'm quite excited, but at the same time nervous, because I haven't prepared as well as I have this time for doing many things in my life, and I need to get it right. But then halfway to getting dropped off at the bridge, I realised that the cables for my power bank were still in the wall at home, so I couldn't charge my phone or my extra phone with my camera on it and my watch or any of these things. So I've had to pull in reinforcements, and we'll be able to sort it. Well, it's at this point we leave suburbia behind us. We've just walked through the village of North Ferriby, come off the river, cross the A63, and along here we take a left turn through a gate. For me, this is really the start of where it gets to look great. And you get peace, and you get quiet, and you get rid of all the noise of life. And it gives you time to think and to ponder and to enjoy the beautiful world around us, which in the hustle and bustle of life, it's very easy to forget how beautiful the world we live in. This is really where the adventure begins and the noise disappears. We're going to head from here up and over the top to Welton, the village, and then we walk through Welton Dale, and I'm sure that I will speak to you when we get there. I'm not sure whether you can read that, but that says Filey, 74 miles to go. So 5 miles in, and that's the first acorn marker I've seen. Out of the light, and onwards we go. This is Welton Dale. We've just come over the hill into Welton, the village, out the other side. Had a chat with some belted Galloways, or Belties as they're known, and we're now making our way up and through in the direction of a little hamlet called Wardby, and then Brantingham. Peace and quiet, past the odd few people on the way, but not many, and most of them have even said morning or hello, which is great. So the sun's keeping off my head, which is a bonus, although I've got 2 hats to choose from today, so we shall hope the sun is kind to me. Well, I don't know if you can see clearly, but this is one of many poppy fields which I will be passing today, or tomorrow in fact. Absolutely beautiful. Better when the sun's out, but they are stunning when you get lots of fantastic poppies. Well, I'm making good time. Not that I'm in a race, but I've come out of Welton Dale. I'm just wending my way around a few little tracks, and then I head down into Brantingham. It's very warm, well, for here anyway. It's around 24-25 degrees. It is overcast, but it's very muggy, so it's very close, humid. I'm not complaining because the sun could be roaring up there and frying me, so I'm pleased. And that's another marker on the way to the finish line. We are now at the top, thankfully we're at the top of Spout Hill. I say thankfully at the top because Spout Hill is a steep one. We've walked up it many a day, Wendy and I, or with the kids, and it's steep. Does you good though, and it takes you down into the village of Brantingham, which is at the bottom of the hill. Beautiful little village with a duck pond. Fed the ducks there many times, and some wonderful walks around here. So this is the village over yonder of Brantingham. We are in Brantingham Dale. It's a beautiful little valley. Wendy and I used to bring the kids here many years ago and play under those trees there. But they're all grown up now, and we're making our way down to the valley bottom, where we'll pass a little old church nestled there in the foot of the valley. And then, I don't know, there may even be a song down there. I can hear something playing now. For some reason, this church reminds me of a song. Is it you? For all the saints who from their labours rest. Reminds me of school assembly all those years ago. Can't remember the rest of the words. Very pretty. It's a bit of a stunner. The back end of Brantingham. We shed them one by shattered field and barley seas, until the way is open for echoes of us, made strange by wind, deserted barn, the shifting trade. Of shadows on the Humber, our mouths to springs that speak in tongues of thirst. These are two of the art display which runs the length of the Yorkshire Wolds Way. There's a number of these benches that have been crafted for weary travellers to park their rears on, and that is exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to sit and have a drink and drink in some of that beautiful view all the way out to the Humber. This is probably the last sight I will get of the River Humber, because we're heading north. This, my friends, is Swindale. How beautiful is that? So, found a trig point, windmill walk as it says. This triangulation station, known informally as a trig point, was used by Ordnance Survey as a fixed surveying station and similar projects here. Time and technologies have moved on enormously to the point where this structure is now obsolete. Many have been lost due to developments, farming, coastal erosion and other causes. With the kind permission of Ordnance Survey and landowner, windmill walkers have adopted this structure to recognise and preserve its historic importance in mapping the local area. Also in tribute to the members past, present and future. Established in 1999, the windmill walkers, a membership throughout East Yorkshire. 2022. Look at that! Beautiful! we meet again. So we're currently just crossed the top of Arras Hill, which is at the top of Market Wheaton, over the A1079. We're now travelling down into the valley beside the Hudson Way, which is the old disused railway line which runs between Beverley and Market Wheaton, and then we cross there and head up into the little village called Goodmanham. Beyond Goodmanham we're going to Loughborough, which is beautiful. We're making reasonable time. We're about to be 8 hours in, getting up for 23 miles in. So we're doing okay. It's very warm. Don't know how warm it is, but it's very warm and muggy, and could do with a nice big ice lolly. You know, when I say big, I mean massive. That lasts for an hour. Could do with that. It's not going to happen though, is it? Onwards and upwards. There are so many beautiful parts of the walk that could be highlighted, and this is just one of them. This is making our way into Loughborough Park. We've walked through Goodmanham, the back of Market Wheaton, and made our way down to Loughborough Park. We quite frequently come and walk around here. In fact, one of the attractions here is the fact that there are lots of red kites in this area. There are along many parts of the Wolds Way, but one Saturday morning, some months ago, I came down here with my camera in search of red kites, and parked myself under the trees over there, and I sat and waited, and my patience very quickly started to run out. Why, you may ask? And I'll tell you, because whilst I sat there for a couple of hours, just short of 90 people walked past me, and red kites don't like lots of people about. Looks like we're going that way. Looks like somebody's lost their way. Can't see a mum or dad there. Sure they'll be along soon. The village of Loughborough. Cute little village. Very quiet, peaceful. few months ago, whilst out walking, we came along here on this stretch of the Wolds Way, and when we got to this gate, we found there was a problem. The problem was, wedged in the middle of here, there was a very large Charolais bull who wasn't in any mood to move at all. So we did some talking to him, tried to encourage him to see the error of his ways, but he was having none of it, and he stayed put. So we had to climb over the edge, squeeze past and go round him because he wasn't budging. I wasn't in the mood to argue with him either, if I'm honest. So we're just making our way down, well, I'm just making my way down into Numburnome, which has got a very nasty hill. I know it's a daft thing to say at this point in time, but I forgot how much I hate hills. We are currently going up this hill here. It's not very long, but it is a brat. And funnily enough, we are on our way through Brat Wood. How appropriate is that? The fact that this little ginger bloke grew up in Hull, where everything is flat. There just ain't no hills. So when it comes to coping with going up a hill, it's a struggle, especially with little legs. We used to have to go and find a flyover or a bridge just to get anything off the ground. The sun's gone in. We're now nearly 11 hours in, just about to be 30 miles, which is good. It's not a race. That sheep, lovely. Hey. What are we doing? Brr. 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 Well then, cutie, how are you? You're brave. Come and say hello. If you're ever walking on the Yorkshire Wolds Way, we're now above the village of Millington. If you get to this point and you think, I could do with some fantastic food to keep me going for the rest of the day, what you need to do is you need to head down to just about there. In the village, a fantastic little tea shop, cafe, restaurant called the Rambler's Rest. If you want good grub at fantastic prices and exceptional service, that's the place you need to go. You actually get to it if you're going along this way. There's a gate, and then you head down the hill to the bottom onto the main street. Take a left, in the door. They're not open on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, open every other day from 10:30, I believe, until 4. But they don't serve hot food after 3, so bear that in mind. Worth making a note of. How beautiful is that view? Evening all. Nice night for it. A lot cooler now. It's a lot cooler. We're 33 miles in. I haven't got my glasses on to tell you how long it's taken. I thought I mentioned earlier when I said a few hours ago that I walked the Wolds Way in one go 10 years ago. That's what I'm doing again. So I'm walking from the Humber Bridge to Filey Brig in one go, no sleep. I'll have a few rests, but I'm doing it for charity. I'm doing it for the menopause charity. Over the last couple of years, well, probably more than a couple of years, I've seen my Wendy cope with no end of issues related to most of which are related to menopause. I don't think us blokes understand or appreciate just what these ladies have to put up with so many symptoms that are laughed off because it's the menopause. There's too many GPs, unfortunately, who don't have sufficient knowledge, who don't wish to have sufficient knowledge, and palm people off because apparently it's the norm that everybody in the ladies' world gets symptoms of menopause. But how they affect somebody's life is so important that it needs dealing with, and dealing with appropriately. I have been frustrated and angry that I've not been able to do anything to support. Really, I'm always there and I try to help where I can, but you can't take the issues away, which is why I decided to walk this for charity, to raise money for the menopause charity. So if when you watch this and you think maybe I could bung a few quid their way, don't delay. This is Millington Pastures, and if you're ever thinking where can I go and catch sight of red kites, if you sit over there beside those gorse bushes about 3:30 in the afternoon, you will see red kites who come hunting up and down this dale. This I think is Silverdale, and they come on the hunt. So there's a tip. So now I have to go down to the bottom of this hill, and then I can either go straight up the other side, or I can zigzag up to that top corner. Undecided which I'm going to take. So 10 minutes ago we just had a bit of a shower, very fine rain for about 5 minutes, but 5 minutes can do a lot of damage, and that's indeed what it's done. My feet are now soggy, and what was feeling fine and blister free is now warming up, unfortunately. So that's a bit of a pig. So in a few miles, when I get to Fridaythorpe, I'm going to whisk my shoes and socks off and have a good look and see what I can patch up to continue on. Pain in shower, just what I didn't need. Onwards and upwards! Well, fresh pair of socks on, switched to my old Torrents, and they're dry. I'll explain that later, but we're now halfway along the Yorkshire Wolds Way. 39 miles that way and 40 miles this way. It's quite eerie actually. Nobody about. I suppose I'll be doing much videoing during the night. If there's anything exciting, you'll be the first to know. Speak to you later. It's funny, you know, I'm walking into the darkness here, coming out of Fridaythorpe, realising that so many of the best, most scenic parts of the Wolds Way are all going to be in darkness. So I've been thinking what I can do, and I've got lots of pictures that I've taken over the years of these scenic parts. So what I'll do is I'll put a montage together at this point in the video, and at least you'll see them in daylight rather than not seeing them at all. We've just come through Wareham-dale, me, my backpack and I, and we're on our way around a few bends into Thixondale. I just wanted a chat to explain to you that maybe I got it wrong, and I didn't think that it was going to be as tough as it has been. I thought in 10 years it couldn't have changed so much, but the heat that there was yesterday, and apparently the heat is going to be more because it's not going to be overcast today, so I'm just trying to get as much miles under my belt before the heat gets high in the sky in that big orange ball. But to be honest, I wouldn't have changed it. I've prepared as best I can. But preparation is so important in these situations. And only recently I was watching, as I've done many times, watched lots of videos of people who have walked the Wolds Way themselves. And last week, or the week before, I watched a couple where people were saying during the video that there were very few places to get resources, shops and such like, and they couldn't fill up with the water. And one guy was even saying, oh, and every pub I got to was shut. Now for me, walking the Wolds Way isn't about getting to the next pub. It's about preparing properly. I expect to have, well, already I've been through loads and loads of water, lots of food, but I've prepared ahead of time and I've left packs at various stages along the way. And I had somebody meet, a friend of mine, Simon, who met me with more supplies, and I've had the kids meet me with various treats, flapjack and a bottle of Ribena and whatnot. But to be honest, you've just got to prepare properly. Somebody said there's nowhere, he'd brought his filter, but there was nowhere to get water. Now, when you actually work out that in Welton there is water at South Cave, there's water at Brantingham, there's water at Goodmanham, there's water at Lonsborough, there's water at Millington, there's water at Dixondale. So just do a little better planning and take things with you, even if it does weigh you down. Better that than moaning all the way. And enjoy the countryside around you. Don't just be looking for the next pub. It's there to be enjoyed. Well, that's what I think anyway. One thing I was also going to say is just how important my support party has been. I've had everybody that has supported me along the way doing various things, whether they've turned up with supplies or they've messaged me or they phoned me or they FaceTimed me. It makes a difference because it has been tougher, definitely. But I ain't moaning. The miles are clocking off, and it'll all be worthwhile when I hit the top of that cliff. And it's all to raise money for a good cause, so there you go. Onward and upward. The day dawn is breaking, the world is awaking. Can you hear the birds? And just like that, they all shut up. Isn't there just something special about being in a wood, a forest, amongst trees? There's a feeling that's there, so calming and beautiful, especially at this time of day when everything's waking up to a new day. Morning all. Well, it's been quite a night, I have to tell you. About 10, whatever time it was, coming through Millington, up on the top, it showered. I might have already told you this, but it's been a long night. It showered for about 4 minutes. As a result, the grass got very wet, resulting in soggy feet for Shawnee boy. Very quickly, I felt blisters appearing, heat spots, but knew that there was a few miles before I could switch socks and potentially shoes at Fridaythorpe, which is what I did. It was something around midnight. I left Fridaythorpe with dry socks, and I switched to my ancient Hoka Torrents. If anybody's interested, these are my old Torrent Hokas, but the first half of the walk are in Hoka Torrents as well, but they're Torrent 3s, which I find the most comfortable shoes for walking anything over 10-15 miles. Up to that I'll wear boots a lot of the time, but if it's over that I wear these. I know you're supposed to only do so many 100 miles, blah blah blah, but these have done me proud and have saved my life. So hopefully they'll carry me through to the end, which is probably about 28 miles, I think. And life is coming to, well, the world is coming to life, should I say. Very peaceful. Several times through the night, my life was saved by people contacting me, messaging me, and encouraging me along the way. So thank you to those people who phoned and FaceTimed and messaged. Although, because I didn't have my glasses on, half the messages I couldn't read till later anyway, because I just couldn't be bothered to take my my glasses out to stick them on, because I was so jiggered. But as long as one foot was going in front of the other, that was the main thing. I just wanted to touch base with you before I head on down the hill and make my way down there. When you're walking merrily along with not a care in the world, a few blisters, but not much else, and then off the flat you come across this sign. Now, what does that sign tell you? Because it tells me we're about to go up hill. Can't wait for that. There's no time like the present. Onwards and flaming upwards. There we go. Well, to be honest, people say that that's the steepest part of the Wolds Way. I would disagree. It's slightly longer, but the steepest part, I think, is in Severdale beside Millington, which was a nightmare to undertake because it's short and sharp, but it is straight up. On that one you can go the zigzag route, but I went straight up, as my knees will tell the story. Well, made it to the top of the hill, where there is a view and a half, which I'll show you, but there's also another of the Trails art exhibits, which is, this one is titled Enclosure Rights. It opens out to the Vale of Pickering. It's even more of a struggle when we come out walking and find the hills, which I love, really. Although today, in the last 20 whatever hours, it has been unkind to me. With the heat, the combination has jiggered me, to say the least. I continue on to my end goal, and thankfully in these trees it is somewhat cooler, and because it's overcast, that helps. Until the last hour or so from Hessel, from the bridge, we'd been travelling in a south to north direction generally, and from the last 45 minutes to an hour we have been travelling west to east, and we are following the A64, which you can see down there maybe, across the Vale of Pickering, and we follow the top of the brow of the hill that way, up and down till we meet Filey. Tell you what, a bit of shade makes all the difference. So we just come through West Heslerton. I suppose we've got 20 something, 26, 28, something like that miles still to go. But I think we're making reasonable time anyway. We've just come through the village of Sherburn, and we're going up a 16% hill just for fun, but it'll all be worth it in the end. Just a little bit ago I picked up and put in a bin a helium balloon that was at the trail side. It was caught in a hedge, and I was going to tell you a story. Probably a couple of years ago, Wendy and I were out walking, and we were beside Huggett, and we found the remains of a helium balloon that were hanging out the mouth of a young lamb that had been chewing the said helium balloon, not knowing anything wrong with doing that. As a result, had choked to death. There is a message there. If you get the opportunity at some celebration or funeral, let's send one of these helium balloons up for Uncle George. Uncle George couldn't give a monkeys about a helium balloon, but wild animals who can die as a result of them could do without that. So please bear that in mind. Oh, what a joy. More flaming steps. So, 79 miles, no sleep. Look on top form really, don't I? Almost 20 miles in, the knees went, but he battled on and made it. I won't walk again for a month, I'm sure. Don't ever, ever, ever suggest it's a good idea to do a long trip.
You're a warrior, Sean.
I'm a warrior. I'm a chicken warrior.
He's a warrior, he can't walk, he's got blistered feet, his shoes are stuck to his feet, he's sunburnt, he's tired, he's had no sleep. But he's made it to the monument. How many miles?
79 miles.
79 miles.
Thank you for everybody who has donated to the Menopause Charity. Any donations, I'm going to leave it open for a little while. Not that you'll see this video before then, but hey ho. I didn't video during the night, but at the end of the day, he's made it to the final.
You didn't give up?
No. That reminds me of a song by Kate Bush. Don't give up.
Yeah, it is a song
anyway,
by Kate
thanks.
Bush. Thank you. He's a warrior. You'll see him next time a bit healthier.
Oh, no, there won't be a next time.
Okay, there's not going to be a next time.